go.
Hey, everybody, welcome. Welcome once again to Cruise Control. This is your on air automotive magazine, and I think you know us. We're pretty familiar. I'm Les Jackson, and I'm pointing over there, is Fred Staab. And as usual, Fred, I know you'll agree with me. We have a few surprises,
Yes.
a few not surprises. Um, and the industry is just, well, it's rolling.
Well, yeah.
That's the best word.
But what's not rolling is the Nissan Honda or Honda Nissan
Yes.
merger. That is gone. That is
Yep.
completely gone. And the Honda merger is basically canceled. Honda Nissan merger. Honda admitted it wanted to take over Nissan. It had no idea or any idea of it being some kind of 50-50 deal. Honda wanted to take over Nissan. So Nissan said, no way, we're not doing that. Now they're going to massively cut their workforce. That's what's up next for Nissan. And they're looking at
Yeah.
two non automotive partners. So we'll talk about that.
Well, I hope it works. I really do. I just don't want to see people lose their jobs, and I don't want to lose the product. Anyway, over at Toyota, it seems like Toyota's getting ready to bring back the Celica. Great name,
Wow. Yeah.
but they have some big changes planned.
Yeah. Very big changes. And they're
Real big.
similar changes to a car that you and I like a lot. So we'll talk about
Yeah.
that. We'll detail that. It could be interesting bringing back the Celica, and it could be quite the hot number for the folks. Let's just put it that way. What do you have up next?
Well, Volkswagen has priced the 2025 GTI and the Golf R, and we're going to run through those prices. They're not inexpensive, but
No,
you
especially with
get
the
a lot
Golf
of
R.
yeah, you get a lot of fun for
You
your
do get
money.
a lot of fun. But you won't get a
Yeah,
manual transmission in the GTI
no,
because that is gone. That is one of the casualties of the new model year. And then we're going to ask this one. It's pretty interesting. Why is Jeep spamming? Why is Jeep spamming some of its new owners while they drive? So they're flashing messages up on their displays and trying to get them to buy stuff. So we'll talk about
I
that. That's a bad
yeah.
trend.
Well, that is a bad sign, and it's distracting.
Yep.
Um, so I would get angry myself. And we're going to talk tech about Dimples. No, not these. One tire manufacturer says aero dimples are the key to more efficient tires. Now, think about a golf ball.
Yeah. Yep. This is what they're
Um,
talking about. Quieter
yeah,
tires too. So we'll kick that
I'm all
around.
for that.
Yeah. And Acura prices out its ADX. Remember, we said there's a trend to make less expensive vehicles. Well,
Yeah.
um, Acura's doing that, and they're trying to get some new people into the brand, interested in the brand. And we'll tell you about the ADX, which is one of their new electric offerings. So, a lot of stuff coming up on Cruise Control. As always, it is never a quiet moment in the automotive
No,
industry.
it's a good thing we keep up with this because we could never catch up.
No, no. So let's get started with our first story, and that is the Nissan Honda merger, or the lack thereof.
Yeah.
Um, the finances of Nissan are just flat out terrible. And this is going to be a very rough year for Nissan. But it came out this week that no more merger talk with Nissan and Honda. No marriage, as they say,
No
because
marriage.
Honda basically wanted to take over Nissan. They wanted to just kind of erase Nissan and have it be maybe, keep a few of their models, and that would be the end of Nissan. And Nissan didn't want
Yeah.
this. And
Well,
you think back
yeah.
to it, Les, the head of Honda really didn't know why they were doing this, right?
Well, except he did know, which is why he answered the question the way he did when he was interviewed. Well, what's the benefit for Honda? Well, I don't know. Well, yes, you do know. You know that you're just going to own Nissan and get rid of them.
Right. So,
Yeah. So what's going to happen now?
well, it's not going to be good for Nissan because their management has said get ready for major, major cuts, massive cuts, probably over 6,500 jobs at car and engine factories in the initial phase, and then it will be another round by 5,300 people going away. They're going to cut, 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 but they're going to also bring out some new vehicles. They're going to bring out the Rogue Hybrid. They're also going to bring out the extended range electrics in the future, which is an electric vehicle where the engine just powers the battery, charges up the
Yeah.
battery. They're going to bring out the Leaf. I don't think that is a big vehicle for them. I think it was just in the mix. So, will they survive? What do you think?
Well, I think they will. First, they will. Nissan and Honda will collaborate on software and electric vehicles. That's okay. So that's small, but they will collaborate.
Right. Like someone said,
Um,
they're going to date, they're not going to get married.
yeah, that's right. They're not not going to get engaged.
Right.
They're going to be just dating, and I think. Well, first of all, Nissan does make a few very, very popular vehicles, the Rogue,
Mm-hmm.
as you mentioned, um, and trucks. Not here, but this is a world sales. I just think in the U.S., I think they're going to have some real rough time for a couple years. Worldwide, I think they can hang on.
Well, I'll ask you this question because as I was preparing cruise control last night, I thought about it. Um, should they get rid of Infinity? Because the standalone dealers are closing and they're becoming part of the Nissan dealers, right? I never felt their offerings were that different from Nissan. Um, and I'm wondering if they should just close down that brand, do something radical.
Well, um, it's funny you say that because I haven't seen Infinities to any extent on the road.
Mm-hmm.
I've always liked Infinity's interiors, but they're basically Nissans. I mean, there's hardly any difference. So if Infinity is costing them how many hundreds of millions of dollars a year, maybe it's time just to close the doors.
Well, I always liken this to if you have a huge problem and you look at their numbers, they're down by amazing amounts, their sales and that. And maybe you can't go and do little fixes. You have to go a little bit
Yeah.
radical. Uh, I don't know. I mean, I'd like to see what our audience thinks because should they just get rid of Infinity? It's not unheard of. Look what GM did when it went through bankruptcy. They got rid of
Boy.
Pontiac and before that
Yep.
Oldsmobile and Saturn.
Saturn.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Hummer.
maybe it's just not. Maybe they should do that. Maybe they have to kind of just keep some of the Infinities as high-end Nissans and then just because you've duplicated all that staff and that to handle this stuff.
Well, that's right. And yes, of course, the profits are better on an Infinity, but are they really when you count all the overhead?
Yeah, I don't know.
So
I really
Um,
don't know. It's sad though that it's going to be a rough time for Nissan. Will there be good deals? I mean, they have a new American CEO in place who is says he has a plan and he's going to drive back sales, but it's pretty hard. And they I don't know if they'll keep Versa or Altima. They're talking about that. That to me, maybe they're not high profit, but they are sedans, which makes them unique in today's world, right?
yeah, I do worry, Fred, that Nissan is one company that isn't going to be able to remain a full line manufacturer, at least not in the short run.
Mm-hmm.
We're both very much in favor of full line, but I don't know. Maybe Nissan should concentrate on the stuff that, 78% of sales are SUVs.
Yeah, yeah, and it's hard to say that because you and I like sedans and coupes and things like that. But if
Yeah.
they have to, once again, this is red alert time. You can't say, well, we really like that model. It doesn't sell well, though. But there is some hope. Instead of Honda, as we say, they'll have a
Right.
relationship with Honda for electric vehicles and things like that. Still, as we told you about on our last edition of Cruise Control, Foxconn, who is the Taiwanese electronics manufacturer known for making iPhones, is
Hmm.
interested in teaming up with them. And then the U.S. based private equity firm KKR. Private equity firms sometimes, when they invest in things, it's
Um,
like it's sort of like I'm going to run this ship and I'm not going to put any maintenance into it. I'm going to get everything out of it I can.
exactly. I'm
Or
going to strip
building.
all the assets. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
very much against private equity firms, but there are some that actually do build up the companies they invest in and make things work.
But would they?
Um,
You think about the auto industry now. You think about Nissan's uh, place in the auto industry. It's a difficult space to be in. No one knows what to do. Electric cars, hybrids, extended range electrics. What do we do? New safety requirements on the in the future, increased costs. So, is that a
yeah.
good investment for a private equity company?
Well, uh, no,
Or are they just
I
looking
don't
at
think so.
quick growth? Like, hey, we can
But
boost sales
yeah,
quickly and cut costs dramatically and make a little bit of a
well,
profit.
you know, if I were the private equity firm, I would come in and say, "I tell you what, I'm going to give you the money, but you're going to have to just shut down your electric development for a while. Concentrate on the stuff that people buy: SUVs, all-wheel drive, hybrids, and let's build it up, and then
Hmm.
come back in a few years and address the next steps."
Yeah. You know, it
That's
could
what I
be
would do.
it could be that, as you said, with full line manufacturers, we'll be left with Kia, Hyundai, and Toyota.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
seems
How
seems
about
like it.
that? The big three.
Yeah, that's the big three. Yes,
Wow.
because I know it will turn around one day and people will say, "Oh, I'd like a sedan or a smaller
Absolutely.
vehicle," or and we're already seeing it as people are saying, "I don't want to, finance a car for 10 years and then I'm paying on something that's worth a lot less." So, um, you don't need the bulk. I'm telling you, folks, it's freer when you have to drive something smaller if you can, and you have to park it. It's a lot. It's a lot easier.
It
It
sure
it,
is.
it will make you happy. At least it makes me happy. I don't know. How about you?
It makes me happy. And we've driven everything.
Yes.
So yeah.
Well, what do you think about this next story? This is a story about Toyota's plans for the Celica GR. they just um, they filed a trademark for the GR Celica. Okay, so GR, of course, Gazoo Racing. We have the GR Corolla. We have some other GR models. Now they're filing this trademark for the GR Celica nameplate. And they have officially confirmed the return of the Celica with this new trademark, and it will carry that performance branding. This is according to Car Scoops. While reports are pointing to the power plant being a 2-liter, 400 horsepower, and potential all-wheel drive powertrain, there could be some twists and turns in the return of the Celica. And one of them is a big one. They might combine two cars, including the MR2. It might come back as a mid-engine sports car. What do you think of that?
That would be, yeah, the MR2, or the Mr. 2, as many people called it, was really very cool. Great handling little sports car.
Yeah.
But they didn't sell a lot, but everybody that had them loved them.
Yeah, I remember when they came out.
Yeah, that would be, and Toyota can do that. They have, that's the beauty of the full line, especially what they do, when all of their models sell very well.
Now this comes...
So they can afford to have a limited sports car. I have a friend, by the way, that had a 75 Celica, bought new. And he sold it only about 6 or 8 years ago. And it had, him, by the way.
Okay.
And it had about 300,000 miles on it.
Okay.
He never maintained it.
No. I know exactly who you're talking about now.
Yes, and we because I had a lot of rust. We repainted it 3 times.
Oh my!
Whatever I was restoring, I would have extra paint, and we would paint his Celica. But the thing just kept running.
Oh, of course. Well, the Japanese publication Best Car has suggested the idea of a Celica MR2 successor mashup. And it wouldn't be uncommon. Hey, the Corvette went mid-engine. Why not the Celica MR2? That has a pretty good ring to it.
Yeah, they have basically the plans for the MR2. They know how to do it. But 400 horsepower, wow.
Well, think about that. If you got that, and with all-wheel drive, I know this is going to sound crazy, but what a competitor to the C8 Stingray with 490 horsepower there, but this would probably be much smaller and have all-wheel drive.
Yep. Probably 800 pounds lighter.
I know everyone's going to say, yeah, but it's not a V8. Yeah, I understand that. It's not a V8, but...
Doesn't need to be.
Well, we have a story coming up a little later on where apparently there's one manufacturer that believes that people want V8s even if they're less powerful than, let's say, a turbocharged 4 or 6. They just want the V8 for the sound. So, I don't know. But... you just think about it on paper. That would be a interesting competitor and probably cost less and just about the same power plus all-wheel drive plus lighter.
That's very, very attractive.
Yes. I think it could spawn a whole racing series too, don't you?
Yeah. Go to Le Mans with it.
Yeah, there you have it. Okay, well, what do you think? What should the new Celica be when it comes back? Because it's coming back, but will it be, front-engined all-wheel drive, mid-engined all-wheel drive? What do you think? I do like the sound, though, of 400 horsepower from a 2-liter.
I do, too. I think they could just discontinue the Supra and and do this with the Celica.
Yeah. But knowing it as Toyota, as you said, just said, Toyota's not Nissan. They can do it. They can have those two cars, and it doesn't
Yeah.
matter. It'll be like fine. Who knows? Who
And
knows?
they have 11 factories in the U.S.
Wow.
So they can kind of build anything here.
Well, the other thing, getting back to Nissan, do you think they'll sell some of their factories? Obviously, they
I
don't need
think
their
so.
factory for their Titan
No,
anymore, so they're out of the truck factory. But do you think they will sell those? They're ready to go for somebody else, right?
sure,
And with
sure.
tariffs coming up, potentially,
Yep.
people needing U.S. plants, I think they might be able to make some money there. What do you think?
They still have a plant in Mississippi, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so I think they would sell that.
Hmm. Or do they make the Frontier there? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if they make the Frontier there or not, but we'll have to see.
Well,
Well,
they could still sell it and then just build the Frontier on one line,
yeah.
and whoever buys it uses the rest of it.
Yes. Well, I think you're going to see big things from Nissan like that. You're not going to. It's not going to be just we'll cut back on free coffee in the break room. It's going to be heavy, heavy, heavy restructuring to get this done.
Yeah.
So,
Hmm.
well, there you have it. Celica MR2 mashup and the non-mashup of Honda and Nissan.
Yeah.
Did you think it was going to go through Honda and Nissan?
No, I mean, I thought initially it was, but then as time went on, it just didn't seem that it was going to be possible.
Right. It just didn't. It didn't seem like a good deal business-wise
Yeah.
for
So, and it wasn't. So,
anyone, basically. I mean, Nissan basically would have disappeared. They would have evaporated. Honda would have
that's right.
grabbed them. I don't know whether they would have grabbed them just to shut them down or what. I don't know.
Well, those requirements in the halfway through the process that Honda demanded were just crazy.
Yeah. Well, and they were just unattainable. I mean, they're just not
That's
gonna.
right. I couldn't do it.
Yeah. Yeah. One thing, another company that's in trouble is Volkswagen, and they announced pricing on the Golf GTI and Golf R for 2025. And the Golf R might be a little bit of an eye popper, but we'll talk a little bit about the GTI first. And the GTI is going to start at 32,445. Not a terrible number. I mean, basically, this goes up about 13 horsepower, making it the most powerful production Golf ever made by Volkswagen. And it also
Right.
gets more buttons on the steering wheel as opposed to those sliders, and a bigger screen on the inside.
Well, and all kinds of electronics, the AI enabled voice assistant and haptic switchgear, um, which is cool. And really, 32,000 isn't so bad. Of course, you're not going to be able to buy one for that. When you get to the dealer, it'll be at least 5 grand more because it'll be stacked with extra goodies.
Yeah.
But
Uh,
still, not so bad. It's it's a hoot to drive. I mean,
yeah, they are still
that's
fun.
what it's about.
Yeah, there's a GTI S. That's the one that starts at 32,445 MSRP. The S exterior includes all new design elements, a new front bumper, headlights, red character line, illuminated front logo, which I like on that. I just had
Oh
a
yeah.
Volkswagen Atlas to drive, and I like that. It was a nice little surprise. It's kind of cool. And the interior gets a new upgrade. Of course, there's going to be the plaid
Yep.
upholstery. It has to be. And then you step up to probably the one that will be the volume leader, the GTI SE. Prices start at $37,420, and SE includes 18-inch R design alloy wheels, all season tires, light assist auto high beam functionality. Means auto high beams. It's a long
Yes,
about
that's right.
way to say that. And then the new Club Sport Art Velour seat covers, which is interesting. Club Sport is the name of that plaid seating, which is.
Yes, or you can get leather for a modest price increase.
I would. I get the plaid. I think that you gotta
I
rock the plaid in the GTI. That's what I think.
Well, yeah. The fact is, it's the car is, even though it's an everyday car, very reliable, and keep it for years. It's just fun. So part of the fun is having these um,
Golf pants
Zoot
seats.
Suit, old name from the 30s.
They look like
Seats
golf
covers,
pants from the 60s.
golf
Like,
golf pants. It ought to have white seat belts
that's,
and golf pants, but
oh,
anyway,
like the salesman in WKRP. You got to get yourself a
that's
white belt
absolutely,
if you want to sell
yeah,
time.
white belt and plaid pants, and
And
the strange, like a green jacket,
yes, yes,
which was
yes.
described as wearing a full Cleveland, which
That's right.
which I love. I love that term.
Well, we're
Um,
not done with the GTI yet because you
no,
can
no,
get the
there's more,
Autobahn, right?
more.
The Autobahn edition.
The Autobahn for a mere 40,880.
Mm-hmm.
You get everything from the previous models, and you get adaptive damping and 19-inch wheels,
Wow.
performance tires, which will not help you in the winter.
Nope.
I get a heads-up display, which, hey, I'm there,
Yep.
and a three-zone climatronic.
Okay.
That's climate control. Ventilated leather seats, driver's seat memory. Boy, you have to go a long way just to finally get driver's seat memory.
Yeah, you do. You do.
Wow. And heated rear seats.
Okay.
Um, I don't know
Well,
about you, Fred, but I don't care about my rear seat passenger.
I know that's a big
I,
upgrade.
I, I don't know why. I just
But now, if you
don't
want
care.
to step up, really step up, there's the Golf R. Now, this is the 2024 model. They don't have many pictures of the 2025 around that I could find. But the Golf R MSRP is 47,100. Also gets a 13 horsepower increase now with 328 on tap. 7-speed
That's yeah.
DSG, all-wheel drive. These things are incredible to drive. They are a lot of fun. Um, they really are, and this also benefits from the bigger 12.9 inch screen and some of the other switch gear and things like that. Napa leather seats, front ventilated seats, heated front and rear outboard seats. I know you don't care about the back seat passenger, but what if you want more, Les Jackson?
If you want more, you can get it
Okay.
because they have a black edition,
Mm-hmm.
which is actually only another like $1,500.
Okay.
At this point,
Might as
who
well.
cares about the money?
Yeah.
Uh, but you get 19-inch gloss black alloy wheels. You get everything's black.
Yeah.
Um, Mythos black metallic. That's one of the colors.
Hmm. You know what I
Black badging. So I don't know. Would you do that?
No, I you know what I would do, and I've seen pictures of it, and I think it is coming to the US, but it's not listed here. They have a enthusiast version that has cloth seats and no sunroof. Um,
Yeah.
I think I would get that one where it's a little less, luxurious, but it is more of an enthusiast one. It also has a titanium exhaust, um, which I think
Of
I would get
course.
that. I think I would get that one. They're holding back on that because you know what they'll do. They'll show that at a car show as a big reveal, but I've seen pictures of it and it looks cool. It almost has
Well,
it has it's the Golf R take on the cloth upholstery plaid. It's a different plaid, but
I,
it's
uh, I like the idea of the titanium exhaust, which will outlast the entire car.
right. It also probably has a little bit of a more forward, report. I'll say that.
Um, yes, it probably has a noticeable um, acoustics. How's
Presence.
that?
Yeah, it has an increased presence. How's that?
In other words, it's loud.
It's loud.
It's
It's loud.
and you're going to annoy your neighbors.
That's true. That's true. Unless it has one of those neighborly things where you can, keep the exhaust closed when you start up, and you know, some do have that. Ford Mustang has that, which I would
Yeah.
use. I would use. You don't want to.
By the way,
I think of people
titanium.
sleeping. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
titanium is a very expensive metal.
Oh yeah, titanium's really weird. I have some friends that have a funny car, and they said pick up the titanium bell housing, which keeps
Doesn't weigh
the
anything.
clutch from flying around and chopping off your legs. And it was a weird sensation. I picked it up. I thought this should be a lot heavier. Picked it up with two hands. It's like you could pick it up with
Yeah,
one finger.
it's just yeah. And you know where almost all of the world's titanium comes from?
I don't know.
The Ukraine.
Oh wow.
Things are starting to make sense, aren't they?
Yeah. Yes.
Uh,
Yes. Must be easy to
and that
ship. You can put a lot of it in there and it doesn't weigh anything.
yeah, and the stuff is over $2,000 a ton,
Oh yeah.
which is so much more expensive than steel and aluminum. So it's very valuable.
But it's cool. And it
And you
weighs
have to
nothing.
make all of your military aircraft with it. So,
Of course. Of course you do. Of course you do. But very interesting. Interesting stuff, titanium. But there you have it. The GTI and the Golf R. And if reports are correct, Volkswagen is going to stick with internal combustion engines much past 2030. They're not stopping in 2030. These
yeah.
models could be around for quite some time. And that's good. I
And
like them.
that's part of that is due to just their EV sales and their EV development just aren't going as smoothly or quickly as they had hoped. And I think that's good. They're going to take their time and figure things out.
Well, we're you think about this, this is sort of analogous to Mercedes. Mercedes was going to get rid of the
Hmm.
internal combustion S class. Now they're keeping it because the electric version of the S class is not selling. And they said they're going to update it. It will be, it won't be like complete refreshes. At least that's at the point they're saying now. And this
Yeah.
Volkswagen's kind of there too. We'll keep this GTI around for a long time. We'll update the interior. We'll do some things on the outside. I think eventually we'll get to the point where, yes, we'll build new internal combustion engines with some of these manufacturers. I mean,
Yep.
Toyota's doing it. I know Toyota is doing it. Um,
Everybody's learning.
yeah, everybody's learning. Everybody's learning.
Well, but this is good. Yeah, yes, it hurts a little bit, but it's good. It helps overall development.
Yeah, yeah. Well, let's move over to Jeep. Jeep. Um, well, it's hard to explain, but apparently they are spamming some of their owners with ads every time they go to a stoplight. The ad comes up in their navigation display, and it's ads for extended warranties, pop-ups. It used to mainly be used for robocalls and things like that, maybe recalls. Uh, and now these things are popping up all the time. Call so and so to extend your warranty, and even they don't even make sense because some owners are getting them. They say if you have less than 35,000 miles on your vehicle, you can take advantage of this extended warranty. Well, people are getting these messages even if they have well over 35,000 miles on their vehicle.
I I I just I have a very bad attitude about this.
Yeah.
And if you put ads up on my screen, especially while I'm driving, um, I'm going to get really angry.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, how dare you?
Well, it's kind of the attitude we've discussed where they want these things where they got this revenue stream after the fact of the sale. They want
Right.
subscriptions for things. I know in certain Toyotas, you get a lot of nagging ads for their navigation system. Would sign up for connected services, things like that, and it comes up often. Not while I'm driving, when you fire up the vehicle, or if you try to activate something that would require a subscription, that comes up. But this is about extended warranties, which always get me thinking that's not a good deal. And it's at every stop sign. Now, apparently, you can go in and shut these things off, but you have to set up an account at the Jeep portal. I'm sure they make that information hard to find,
I'm sure.
and you can stop this. So I would immediately go online and see how people have stopped it because you know what? I don't want that either. I think it's a distraction. I really do.
Well, it is, and it's nobody else is doing it yet.
Mm-hmm.
Tune in.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I
hey,
mean,
Jeep's doing it. We'll do.
this is, you think about what GM got caught doing, selling data to insurance companies and things like that. Um, it is they don't want it to be that you buy the vehicle and then that's it, and maybe you come back to the dealer for an oil change or tire rotation. They want the revenue stream as you use it, the faucet to stay open, right?
Now that brings up a question, Mr. Staub.
Yes, sir.
And I've never even thought about this before, but with when the cars are equipped with the 6-month trial of Sirius XM, and if you keep it or whatever, does the car company get a piece of that rental
Probably.
revenue?
Probably. You think about it. Hey, I'm part of the network that allows you to technologically get these. I'm providing these people to you. So I'm sure they do.
Hmm.
I'm sure they do.
I never thought of it, but I would think they must get a little piece of the action.
Yeah, I would say they probably do less because they're bringing that customer, you know, hey,
Captive
captive,
audience.
and they've figured out that a certain percentage will just renew it. Um, you've had this. Do you have to? Okay, you get the 3 month trial. Do you have to opt in and give them a credit card for
Uh,
the trial, or like if
no,
it's three
actually,
months, it
I
just
didn't.
ends and that's it?
Well, oh, believe me, they make sure that you know it's ending soon. Usually after about the first week. Um, and and what I did is, because I have my own flash drive with 400 of my favorite songs on it, so I don't need XM, but it's okay to have occasionally. So they sent me 3 notices in the mail saying this your time's coming up soon if you take advantage of our special offer.
Right.
And I ignored those, and then finally, um, they sent one in the mail. I didn't get any phone calls, but I got some emails
Hmm.
saying, you can connect. And finally, they sent a piece of mail that said, we'll renew you for the year for $4 a month.
Yeah, that sounds like a
It's,
good deal.
it's normally like 16 or 17, which I
Yeah.
won't pay. It's not worth it to me.
No.
But for $4, okay.
Yeah. Well, that's what they always say to do with that. If you're coming
Yeah.
up on your end of your and you say, "Oh, I can't afford it. I'm going to cancel it." And then the guy will say, "Well, what can you afford? $10?" No, that's too much. How about $5? $4? How about $3.58?
That's right.
And then they'll do it. And then they'll do it. So, just a tip if you're
What
serious
what
as
I
coming.
think they should do is just give it to you for free and have some ads.
Well, see, that was their big push that they didn't do that. So,
Yeah,
who knows?
because everybody's streaming now, and streaming is giving you ads.
Yeah. Interesting. Interesting stuff. What do you think when you went to renew your Sirius? What happened, Sirius XM? Did you take it? Did you not take it? Did you um, say, "Hey, I need a better deal than what you're originally
I
offering"?
think I think most people take it.
Yeah. You're listening to Cruise Control, your on-air automotive magazine with Fred Staab and Les Jackson. We are glad you're along for the ride. Les, do you want to talk a little talking tech? Do a little tech talk?
Absolutely, because we like talking tech. A lot of tech in the auto industry, and that people just don't know about it.
Yeah.
And over at Stellantis, they're looking at eggshells.
That's
Uh,
right. Actually, I was going to talk about the Continental tires with
ah,
yeah. Let's talk about Continental tires and
okay,
their
sure.
aero dimples.
Which again, I think is a very, very clever way to look at it. Aero dimples like a golf ball. They're there for a reason.
Yes. So they have come up with the idea that dimples on the sidewalls, on the golf and on golf balls, they serve the same purpose. They reduce air resistance. So if your tire is less air resistance, it will turn easier. And this
Yep,
is on their Eco Contact 7 and 7S tires. Right now, they're for European customers, but they will be coming to the U.S. These are just little dimples. They're not huge things that stick out. But they say this will help with fuel economy. Now, I thought it was just like a design in the sidewall to look cool, but these actually have a real purpose, don't they?
well, they do because they're directing air
Mm-hmm.
and therefore lowering air resistance. And lowered air resistance is lowered resistance, which means uh, better fuel economy, better handling. They should be quieter.
Yeah, they call it
Uh,
urban. Their tire tread patterns called urban silent. At speeds up to 31 miles an hour, the tires should make very little sound to the occupants. So that's another interesting feature because tire
that's right.
noise
Well,
is loud.
the tires are loud. How many vehicles do you test where you can't hear the tires?
Very few, very few. And if it has
You hear a lot of
performance,
road noise, even as well sound deadened as these vehicles are. You hear road noise because tires are loud.
exactly, exactly. And so, urban silent, I think, will be interesting. The funny part is they say it's great for EVs, but that makes them even quieter. So without
Yeah,
the generated noise, you would not hear anything. Um, I like it though. It's interesting. It's interesting technology, and every little bit helps. I don't know if they've thought of how these little dimples on the sidewalls reducing turbulence will solve anything, but why not, right? I don't think it's that hard to
There's a
put them
lot of
on.
air that's pushed around those tires.
Yeah.
And if the dimples convert that air or take away turbulence or cavitation,
Mm-hmm.
then there's less uh, resistance, less friction.
Yeah. Interesting stuff. Interesting stuff. A little technology for you. I'm not sure if these are headed to the U.S. or not yet. They were Continentals, Eco Contact 7 and Eco Contact 7S. So we'll see. But you can tell if this Aero Dimples idea is better, um,
Then
manufacturers will go for it.
everybody will have it.
Yeah, everybody will have it for sure. For sure. Let's move over to Acura. Acura, of course, is the high end brand of Honda, and they are taking a page from a very big trend of making vehicles more affordable, more approachable, and especially electric vehicles. And they have the Acura ADX they call it a tech-rich, top-level, feature-loaded vehicle. This is not an electric vehicle, by the way. This is a turbocharged vehicle, and it is going to start at $35,000. The ADX, the front-wheel drive, starts at $35,000, $36,350 with the destination and handling. And then all-wheel drive is $37,000, which is very affordable for an Acura.
That's not bad.
Yeah. And then you go on up. A-Spec front-wheel drive, $38,000. ADX A-Spec all-wheel drive, $40,000. Still not that bad. And then the top of the range is the A-Spec with advanced package all-wheel drive, $44,000. These all come with a turbocharged VTEC engine, 1.5 liter turbocharged engine. It's the same one used in the Integra. So, somewhat sporty vehicle and a much more affordable. This is the trend to make these things affordable for people, bring them into the brand, and then they go from there. Before that, what would your base price be for an Acura? It would be what, 45 to 50, something like that?
Something like that. They're very much like Lexus. They're not at all inexpensive. So that's a small engine, by the way.
1.5. Yeah, 1.5
1.5. So that whole engine is, well, 1.5 liters, which, by the way, this happens to be
Yeah.
1/2 of a liter,
Yeah.
this can of spray stuff. So 3 of these cans is the whole engine.
It's not a lot of air moving through. Of course, it's
Not a
turbocharged.
lot of pumping air and generating power. It's just phenomenal.
I look forward to driving this, though, because for the longest time, manufacturers would think small vehicles shouldn't have uh, all the features of the larger luxury vehicles.
That's
And
right.
still some manufacturers do that. They think, oh well, that's a small vehicle. You shouldn't have that. Got to get away from that, don't you think?
Yeah.
So
Well,
uh,
the market is saying what it wants, and it wants whatever it wants in the way of looks and size. It wants all the stuff in it.
yeah, everyone. I think most people order vehicles fully loaded. It's always this thing that goes on. Like, for example, Subaru, the Crosstrek. I know I talk about this, but they don't put a heated steering wheel in the Crosstrek in the U.S. They put it in the ones that
Yeah.
go to Canada. But I still think they maybe harbor that idea. Well, that's an entry level car. Why should we have heated steering wheel in that? But then you look at Kia. They put every vehicle is fully
They put it
equipped.
in there. Yeah.
Everything. So I think seeing smaller, well-equipped vehicles is a good trend. obviously for Acura, this ADX means they can get more people into the tent, and have a quality piece with a quality interior. And, you know, it's a little bit of an upgrade. You could probably get things for $5,000 less from other manufacturers, but you're in the Acura brand. You've got the upgraded interior, the sportiness. So, and it doesn't hurt that that engine's in the Integra. I'm sure that that's a turn on for people too, right? So,
Still small engine.
yeah. Well, let's talk about something completely different, and we're going to tell you a good story here, and it is about Porsche and RM Sotheby auctioning off a rare 911 ST, and this money is going to go to support the American Red Cross, which is good news because the American Red Cross has been quite busy lately with the fires in
Sure have.
California and all of what went on in North Carolina, the storms, and who knows what else. So this is a good opportunity for the Red Cross to make some money. So they announced today they will auction a unique 911 ST in a partnership with RM Sotheby's. The car up for auction is number 1,919 of 1,963 vehicles created to mark the 60th anniversary of the Porsche 911. It is quite a nice example. I like the color on this. I like the interior. Really, really a great vehicle, and a unique vehicle to be auctioning off. As it says, there are over 14,000 people stays in overnight shelters in Los Angeles due to the fires. Red Cross has provided 128,000 meals and snacks, as well as over 102,000 relief supplies such as flashlights, face masks, water, and more.
And this is every day.
Yeah,
until people can get situated somehow.
Yes.
A huge effort. I have great respect for these people.
So and this is interesting. The 911 ST being auctioned has been meticulously run in to a pre-prescribed checklist in Europe for a total of 932 miles in preparation by the preparation team based in Stuttgart. Wouldn't you love that job? You have to.
I was going to contact them and offer my services.
Take this new Porsche and drive it for 900 miles, and then we'll give you another
900 miles. First, go to the Nürburgring.
Is that the prescribed braking procedure?
That's for the braking and handling procedure. Then, of course, you want to go to Le Mans. To test the windshield wipers. I'm just trying to test, to get the car sorted out. None of this is for my benefit.
No, that's right. It's a job, man. It's my job.
It's a job. No. So yeah, that's wow.
And it's equipped with the optional Heritage Design Package, as I said, celebrating the 60 years of the Porsche 911. Shore Metallic Blue. Shore Blue Metallic. I'm sorry.
Shore Blue Metallic. Interesting. Yeah. Grayish blue.
Nice color. Car looks good in that color.
So what do you think the auction's going to go at?
Oh, wow. I don't know. I think it will go high. I mean, 518 horsepower, 6-speed manual. Classic cognac front seats, the interior. Front axle lift system, which is similar, I guess. I don't know whose came first. It's to lift it up for driveways, whether it's Corvette or Porsche. Maybe Porsche, I guess. Extended range 23.7 gallon fuel tank, a big tank, and auto dimming mirrors, and integrated rain sensor, and rear parking assist. Oh, there you go. I didn't know you could get
rear parking assist. Well, you have to have that.
No. So what will it go for? Multiple millions, I would say.
I don't, I don't know. I would, but there are plenty of people with a whole pile of money that just would like to give the money away to something like this and, get a toy as part of it. So, um, I'm just thinking maybe 1 million.
Well, the good thing about this car is you can drive it. It's been meticulously run in.
Yes, it has. Tires are bald.
Yeah. What's wrong? What's wrong with the rear tires here? Um, yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know. Certainly over 1 million. I don't know.
I would think over 1 million. I think the car itself usually sells for like a couple 100,000.
Yeah. So I don't know. Probably over 1 million. But beautiful car, meticulously run in, nice color. Uh, I,
Yes, run
I
in is the phrase.
I know you still want that job to do that, right?
I I offered.
But
They didn't return my call.
yeah, apparently they're not interested in your services at this
Oh,
point.
you are the man with the cobra. No, we think you will break the car.
That's an interesting. It doesn't sound German at all. It sounds like I don't know what.
It's yeah, it
I don't know
sounded like
where.
Lebanese.
I believe
But
it may have been
that's
yes.
the best German I could do.
All right, all right. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this edition of Cruise Control, your on-air automotive magazine. It's time for me to say I'm Fred Staub.
I'm Wolfgang Jackson.
We are going to see you down the road. Take care.
Bye.